I wake up at 12 p.m. every single day. And I know what you're thinking. Jordan, you make all of these videos about improving your life and being more productive and pursuing your goals, and yet you wake up at 12 p.m. every day? How is that possible? That's contradictory. I'm unsubscribing and disliking this video and leaving a hate comment and reporting your channel. And listen, I understand if that's your initial reaction to what I just said, because it seems like I'm not practicing what I preach. But what if I told you that this period of time, the time where I have been waking up at 12 p.m. noon every day, has actually been the most productive time of my whole entire life? That's the truth. That's the reality of my situation. The time where I have been waking up at 12 p.m. has been, by and large, the most productive period of my life, including the times where I was waking up at 6 a.m. every single day. Now, you might be wondering how this is the case. And the reason why this is the case is because of something known as Parkinson's law. Now, I need you to really lock in and listen to what I'm saying. Close those other tabs, put this video on full screen. Listen to what I'm saying, because this will change your life if you can internalize it. If you don't know what Parkinson's law is basically the idea that the work that you're doing expands to fill up the available time. So, in other words, if you give yourself 6 hours to do a task, Parkinson's law states that that task will take 6 hours. But here's the cool thing. If you give yourself 3 hours to complete that same task, Parkinson's law says that it will take you 3 hours to complete that same task. So how is it possible to complete a task in half the time if it takes the same number of steps? The answer is simple. You are less efficient than you think you are. You are far less efficient than you think you are. A lot of people think that they are using their time in the most efficient way possible, but in all actuality, they're not. I know this because you're here watching this video. Now listen, I'm not here to demonize YouTube. As a matter of fact, I myself like to watch YouTube videos, but I also acknowledge the fact that I am not nearly as efficient as I could possibly be. But by waking up at 12 p.m. every day, I'm making myself far more efficient than I would otherwise be because I am utilizing Parkinson's law. Basically, when people say that you should wake up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. or these other obscure times early in the morning before the sun comes up, they almost always say it under the pretense that you are getting more time in the day. Which, first of all, even completely disregarding Parkinson's law, is literally not true. If you're sleeping 8 hours a night, you're getting the same 16 hours. It doesn't matter where those 16 hours are. It doesn't matter how you distribute them throughout the day. It doesn't matter if you take 2 4-hour naps. It doesn't matter if you get those 8 hours of sleep in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. If you have 16 hours, you have 16 hours, assuming that the work that you do is not time sensitive. So let's completely disregard that idea right there, because that is literally just false. It is factually false. Aside from that, when you wake up early, even if you give yourself more perceived time to complete a task, oftentimes what will end up happening is that you just complete the task a lot slower. For one, because you're tired, because you're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so you're literally being less efficient because you're maybe sleep deprived. But aside from that, you're giving yourself more perceived time to complete the task, and you give yourself more leeway by extension to be less productive and to procrastinate. Now, of course, waking up early can be a good thing because it can give you a sense of momentum going into your day. You can feel like you're already on top of your game at the start of your day, and you can carry that momentum into your tasks. But what I've actually found, and this is very contrarian, so there's no real science behind this. This is just in my own experience. But what I found is that it's less about waking up early. It's more about waking up at the same time every day. So if you can establish a sense of routine around your sleep schedule, that is going to give you the momentum that you need. It's not about waking up early in the morning. It's about waking up at the same time every day. And I do believe that there are scientific studies to show that waking up at the same time every day and sleeping around the same time every day actually increases the quality of your sleep, which has a carryover effect into every aspect of your life, including but not limited to your work. So you end up working much more efficiently. So again, it literally doesn't matter what time you wake up. Floyd Mayweather, a lot of people don't know this, but he wakes up at 1 p.m. every day. He sleeps at 5 a.m. and wakes up at 1 p.m. A lot of your favorite artists, singers, rappers, or any other kind of creative, a lot of them are night owls, like I am. A lot of them like to be up after midnight. Now, one thing that I will say that a lot of these self-help gurus do get right is that it is ideal, if possible, to structure your schedule in such a way that you are awake when other people are not awake. So that either means waking up earlier than everyone or sleeping later than everyone. Because that uninterrupted time where you basically just have the whole world to yourself is generally some of the most productive time that you will have in your whole entire day. Even if the only productive thing that you're doing during that time is introspection. That's where a lot of my best ideas come from, is me being up when other people are not up. So that's another advantage to not just waking up at 12, but sleeping at 4 a.m. every day. But on the contrary, if you would prefer to wake up at 4 a.m. every day, then that's fine as well. Or if you live on your own, then again, it doesn't matter when you go to sleep, when you wake up. It literally doesn't matter. Get your 8 hours of sleep and distribute them however you wish. It doesn't matter. Now, another reason why I wake up at 12 p.m., aside from all of the benefits that I just outlined, is simply because I can. You see, growing up, I despised school. I did very well in school. If you're in school watching this, that is no excuse to not do well in school or to not try your best. But I despised going to school. And that was for a multitude of reasons. One of which was I was basically forced to be a part of a structure that I wanted no parts of. And I think even at a young age, I was able to see that that structure simply fed into another structure, which was college, which then fed into another structure, which was the 9 to 5. And the idea of staying within the framework, within the confines of that structure, scared the living shit out of me. So that was really the predominant reason why I hated school. But another reason why I hated school was because we had to wake up so early in the morning for basically no reason other than to conform to the traditional 9 to 5 schedule of most parents and other professionals. And for me, I never understood why this had to be the case. I never understood it. And truthfully, I still don't understand it looking back, because if you think about it, if you've graduated, you know this. And if you haven't graduated yet, you'll learn this very quickly after you graduate. But most of the stuff that you learn in school is not actually practical and applicable in your day-to-day life. I don't remember anything that I learned in sophomore year geometry. I got a 99 in that class. So again, I did well in school, but I don't remember anything from it. That class was more or less unnecessary for me. Of course, I had no way of knowing that at the time, but the point that I'm making is that we have all of these classes which offer us this filler information that we don't even really learn or internalize because it's not useful. And we basically, again, utilize Parkinson's law in that the work that we do, in that case, it's the learning that we do, expands to fill up the time allotted, when in all actuality, school days could really be around 4 hours instead of 8 hours. And we could come away knowing just as much practical information. But they don't want to teach you how to be efficient and practical. They want to teach you how to fit into the structure of society, which that's a whole different can of worms that is beyond the scope of this video. But basically, I'm saying all of this to say that from a young age, I realized that waking up early was bullshit. And I always despised it. And I always told myself that when I'm old enough, I am going to create a situation for myself in which I do not have to adhere to anyone else's schedule except for mine. Now, whenever I have children, if my girlfriend and I decide to have children in the future, that might very well change. But at the very least, it will be as a result of a choice that we have collectively made. We have chosen to create another living being whose schedule we have to abide by. But in the meantime, in this interim period, I am not going to switch my sleeping schedule because this is what I worked for. Beyond any other desire I've ever had, when you talk about making a lot of money, when you even talk about helping people, yes, I love helping people. That's why I'm making this video right now. But even beyond that, I always just wanted freedom. And the freedom that I wanted more than anything else was time freedom. Time freedom has always been the most important form of freedom for me, and it's always been the core guiding force in all of the work that I do within the period of time that I allot to the work. Because life is literally made of time. It's the one thing you can't get back. Financial freedom is cool, location freedom is cool, but time freedom is the most important because you can always make more money. You can always go to different places. These places aren't going anywhere, and if they are going somewhere, they're probably not worth going to. But you can never get more time. You can never get more time unless you utilize Parkinson's law like I do by waking up at 12 o'clock every day. Now, if that sounds appealing to you, if you want to be able to wake up at 12 p.m. every single day, if you want to be able to create your own schedule and live life on your own terms, click the link in the description to make freedom a lifestyle for yourself.